Hello again, America. This is Michael Mackey, and I'm running for President of the United States of America. Yes, I am. And it's a huge undertaking. I have been doing a lot of research, trying to figure out how to get my name on the ballot and be able to facilitate this run for President of the United States. And it is difficult. For one thing, I'm going to need a vice president. And what I'm looking for in a vice president is someone to be able to temper my, let's call it, lack of political correctness. But anyway, to move forward, we're going to talk about there's a lot of things in the news. There's the killing of Osama bin Laden, which was a major undertaking, and kudos to the military. And once again, that's not the government, it's the military. The military did what they were supposed to do, and the government took credit for it, which is par for the course. You got to remember, we the people. We control the government, so why are they taking credit for it? Anyway, let's move on from that, because it really doesn't matter, because someone scarier than him supposedly is taking over, and we're in much more danger than we ever were before. So Americans have to live in fear, and that's how the government controls us. We live in fear. Fear of credit card debt, fear of losing our homes, fear of terrorists, fear of anything the government can figure out, they throw at us. That's the socialist way. Socialism is redistribution of wealth and living in fear. Now, I got to tell you, I'm more afraid of our government than I am of any terrorist. God knows I'm afraid of my government. What I really want to talk about is me needing your help. Now, I understand that Americans like to sort of turn their head, not get involved. I hear all the time, I don't know a lot about politics. Well, you don't have to know a lot about politics to know that we're $14.5 trillion in debt. The Fed just announced that we need to raise the debt ceiling at least $2 trillion to get through fiscal year 2012, which means at the end of that, we're going to be $16.5 trillion in debt. Now that debt gets passed on to our children. Okay? Can you do the math? Now, Obama's plan calls to cut our debt by $4 trillion in the next 10 years. That's unacceptable. Now you add this debt ceiling increase of $2 trillion and then subtract the $4 trillion and we're still at $12.5 trillion in debt. Alright? And that doesn't count all the other variables. Like 2 years ago, I stated to my fellow workers and my employees and stuff like that, I said, and everybody was saying, oh, we're getting out of the Depression, oh, Obama's doing all these bailouts. I'm sorry I said his name because I'm trying to keep away from throwing accusations, personal accusations out, but we were supposed to be coming out of the recession and moving into a period of flux or growth. And I stated that inflation takes 2 years. The Fed's printing money. In 2 years we're going to get hit really hard, and things are going to get even worse than they are now. If you want to call this a recession, which I was calling it back then a depression, we're going to be in a bad recession or a depression in a couple years. We're there now, folks. Time has come. Fed kept printing money. The inflation of the Fed printing the money is here. Food prices are going up. Gas prices are going up. We're there. These are just the simple things. Anybody who balances a checkbook should know that America is in trouble. The people that give credit ratings to countries said America should be rated as a C. That's ridiculous. America should be rated much lower. And you'll have the liberals, they'll come out and they'll tell you, oh, well, you got to spend money to make money, and you got to spend money to keep us from going into recession, blah, blah, blah. It's all lies and misdirection, smoke and mirrors. The Founding Fathers wrote the Constitution. I have it on my wall. It's one picture frame. The Constitution that controls the whole government is one picture frame. A health care law is 1,700 pages, and nobody understands it. Our tax law, nobody understands. But the American people blindly follow. Do you know that the reason libertarians have been trying to get into office for years? Do you know that they cannot win the presidency because you can't get on the ballot for president unless you're a Democrat or Republican or a huge party, which libertarians are, but they're not big enough. They only get on 3/4 of the states' ballots, and some states are just, it's so difficult to get on the ballots unless you're Democrat or Republican. They just don't even try. Now I'm trying to figure out ways to supersede that, but so far I've got an idea, but I'm not sure it's going to work. I'm still in the planning stages. But that's just ridiculous. That's not what our Founding Fathers intended. Anyone should be able to run for president. A farmer down at the corner store that's selling his vegetables on the street side should be able to run for president. It's ridiculous. This is getting... The Democrats and the Republicans are the same. We don't have a choice anymore. But the American people don't understand that. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to slam on you because it's not your fault, because it's easy to go to sleep every night and think that everything's going to be okay. But we're beyond that. It's not going to be okay. If we don't fix things now, we're going to end up... I want to do a peaceful revolution. If we don't fix things now, we're going to end up in a civil war. Because the government is pushing too far. Obama just put forth a plan. He wants to start taxing people for driving. For the mileage that they drive, they get taxed. Now, that plan hasn't went anywhere yet, but he's considering it. Do you understand that the government is controlling your life and they want more? They want your heart, they want your soul, they want your liberty, and they want your freedom. I need help to stop this. Stop the madness. Go to www.mackeyforpresident.com. www.mackeyforpresident.com. Give me suggestions. Give me ideas. I'll work around them. I'll implement them into my videos. I'll do whatever you want. But we need to come together and stop the government now. Or your kids are going to be in an all-and-out civil war. And I understand people are going, oh, this guy's nuts. That'll never happen. Look it up. What happened to Rome? Rome was a republic. Everybody was happy till the government took over. And then they had a civil war, and it was all over. That's what's going to happen to America. America's going to fall, and it's going to fall soon. I'm sorry, I know this sounded like a conspiracy theory videotape, but it's really not. I'm just telling the truth. I'm telling you what's really going to happen unless we stop it. Americans need to stand up and take responsibilities for not paying attention and not taking charge when the government started getting too large. I just don't know what else to say. I need your help. Go to www.mackeyforpresident.com. That's Mackey, M-A-C-K-E-Y, forpresident.com. Thank you very much.